Good morning, Villa fans, and welcome to a match reaction. I've just watched the entirety of the second half again. Didn't get to watch it live, had a family emergency, so couldn't really watch the second half of the game. But watched it in its entirety just now, so please do smash a like just for that effort that I put in there. That was a horrible, horrible second half to watch. And to watch it sort of in its entirety. Oh my goodness. Okay. So there, let's get into this. I'm sure you've taken lots of podcasts about the Bournemouth game, so I'm not going to spend too much on this one, but just wanted to throw in my kind of thoughts about the game. So, winding it back, team lineup wise, didn't have many complaints about it. We saw Mings coming back in, which I said he should be coming back in. We saw Onana come in as well alongside Dougie Luiz, which is a good call. And then the rest of the team kind of picked itself as well. I mean, Luca Digne getting the nod there ahead of Maatsen. When I've been saying Martinez has been coming into form and looks like he's taken that left back spot and made it his own in the last sort of few weeks with his performances. See Luca Digne in there, and then obviously seeing how he performed in the second half and his defending for the goal, which I'll come on to, wasn't great. But I thought it was a strong lineup. I thought Ollie Watkins from the start was a little bit surprising considering he wasn't even on the bench in the last game, but he got the starting spot as well, and we'll come on to Ollie Watkins as well. But yeah, the game as well. I mean, as I said, it was going to be. I've got the score prediction right first of all, 1-1. So keep following me for score predictions. So I did make a little bit of money on the game, but yeah, I mean, starting off, I mean, it was always going to be a basketball end-to-end kind of game. It's just the way that Bournemouth kind of play. They're very expansive. They're very good attacking team, lots of great movement in behind, but then they are susceptible to counterattacks and opportunities and let other teams have big chances at the other end. And we did create quite a few of those, especially in the first half as well. But, it was Bournemouth that came close first. Obviously, a long-range shot from Junior Krupi, who is looking so good. 19 years of age. He looks like he's got a heck of a career. He's got a really good, smart brain on him as well. Great movement off the ball. To run in behind and time his runs. He had a shot from the edge of the box, which sort of moved all over the place. Martinez getting a parry kind of to it, but Evan Nilsson with that diving header. Good save again from Emmy to get back up and make the save there. Conser saving one on the line for that Junior Krupi. My bugbear about this one is the flag should be going up a lot earlier. One day somebody's going to get seriously hurt, either colliding with the post or colliding with other players, when the flag could have went up in the first instance and stopped all of that. So, yeah, it was a good clearance from Conser. But then, Villa, we were knocking the ball around quite well first 5 sort of minutes of the game. I felt as though we knew the Man United result from earlier in the day. And, I think Bournemouth took control of the half from the 5th minute. But then we get an opportunity and we take it. We take the lead. Matty Cash plays the ball into Rodgers. Rodgers plays the ball down the line into Sancho. Sancho, excellent work from him, cutting inside, playing a nice little ball around the corner to Rodgers, who's basically one-on-one with the keeper and just smashes it at the near post. I mean, no keeper's getting near that at all. And it's 1-0 Aston Villa, and Morgan Rodgers, I think I heard, got his 8th Premier League goal, 10 goals in all competitions this season. So, really performing well. Looks like he might be taking that England starting spot from Jude Bellingham at the moment, according to sort of various sources. And he's certainly the man kind of on form. And, you wouldn't be surprised if he did get a starting space in the England team now, given his form for club and country. But a really, really, really good goal. But he almost assisted Bournemouth's equaliser. Corner comes in from Bournemouth. I'm not sure what Rodgers is doing. He's got his feet wrong, redirects it back into the penalty box. Rayan gets a header to it, which hits the top of the bar and bounces off. So unlucky there not to score from their Brazilian Rayan. Where was our Brazilian? Alisson. I had him in the thumbnail in the start of the game, the preview. We're not seeing him. I don't know what's going on. Whether Emery's not trusting him enough to give him even a role on the bench. I'm not too sure. Is he still injured? It's just, I know that Emery wants to get people bedded into his way of playing and the system and all this sort of stuff, which is very important. But sometimes you just got to go with, players that can kind of play. So, and Alisson, we haven't seen anything of him just yet. And it'll be interesting to see if he does get any minutes in these home games that we've got coming up. So the second half, and this is when I didn't get to see the game too much live. I've just watched it back now, and it wasn't a great watch, to be fair. But before that, actually, Emi Buendia had a shot actually just before half time, which was a low shot, good save from the goalkeeper. There's, looks like there's a nudge in the back of him. If that's anywhere else on the pitch, then yes, of course, it's a free kick. But because it's in the box, it's not given. Buendia and Jimenez go sort of, head to head a little bit, and have both received yellow cards for that. But I didn't think Emi Buendia had his best game. And again, this is another point that I raised in my match reaction, that we're now relying on Emi Buendia to be a first team player in our starting 11 when we had McGinn, when we had Tielemans as options in the 10 number, Buendia was being used a few times and rotated from the bench. And we saw some really good performances from him from the bench, that fiery Argentine energy coming on. We haven't got that. We've got him from the start now. He's playing a lot of football, and he's not kind of performing the same way as he was, I think, when, maybe when he didn't have as much pressure on him to perform. But now it's kind of all falling on Emi Buendia to shine, Morgan Rogers to shine. And now we're seeing, we are seeing a good phase of Jadon Sancho, obviously getting that goal against Fenerbahce, and then today getting his first assist in the Premier League as well. So he is showing signs of improving. I still don't think we're going to make that deal permanent unless he takes a significant, drop in his salary demands, because just can't see that happening. But yeah, and in the second half, I've got my notes here. So, I mean, we had a chance early on where it was a ball played into Ollie Watkins, who was kind of one against the defender of Bournemouth. And this is my big gripe. Ollie Watkins at the moment, he's obviously either still playing with that injury that he's got. He's lost a yard of pace, a yard of confidence. He doesn't seem that he can get away from players like he did before. We've seen it recently where even his goal against Nottingham Forest, struck from like the edge of the box, Venom, just got his shot away, because I think he doesn't really trust himself anymore in terms of running. And then he had another chance against Newcastle as well, where the ball broke to him, I think a loose pass from the Newcastle defender, and he's picked it up on sort of the edge of the box. And normally he'd try to outrun the defender, but this time he's just decided to take a long-range effort, which Nick Pope managed to tip, I think, away for the corner, which was a good shot. But I get the feeling that Ollie Watkins is not trusting himself at the moment to beat a man. And there was a chance here to get around the outside of the defender and get a shot away. Just didn't seem to have that acceleration. Like we've seen from Ollie Watkins in the past, where he's been able to use that bit of pace. He doesn't seem to have it at the moment. I still think he's clearly, carrying that injury, and I don't think he should be playing. I don't want him playing against Brighton on Wednesday to start anyway. From the bench, fine. But for me, his touch was all off, out of sync as well, and it didn't look right. And he hasn't looked right for a little while. So I think Ollie Watkins needs to, sit himself on the bench for a little while and sort of regain his kind of composure and his form a little bit more, and maybe come on for the last 10 or 15 minutes of games and give someone like Tammy Abraham a striker option that we were crying out for, that could play as a legitimate number 9, because obviously Donya Marlon couldn't in Emery's eyes. And we brought in Tammy Abraham, who is that number 9, and it was a real shame just to see him get the last 5 minutes of this game. When you thought, if you brought him on around the hour mark or even the 70th minute, given the last 20, he would have had more influence on the game, would have had more time to get into the game perhaps, and would have offered a lot more than what Ollie Watkins was doing in terms of hold-up as well. But anyway, even so, the Bournemouth equaliser, I watched this a couple of times. The first time I watched it, I thought Luca Digne was hesitant to go to Rayan because there was another Bournemouth player, maybe the fullback was overlapping on the other side, and that's why his body shape was turned completely that way. I know that he's trying to show the winger to the outside, but he just got it all wrong. Rayan just cuts inside of him so easily, like he's not even there, like he's a training cone. Mings gets across a little bit late. He's taken it very early with the left foot. Surprise element there, low and hard, just toe punts it like you used to do back in the playground with your Doc Martens on or your Timberlands on or whatever. And he's just found the bottom corner, and it's 1-1. And you have to say it was deserved from Bournemouth at that point. And from there, they didn't look back, did they? They were really, really putting in lots of chances. I think they had a goal disallowed for offside as well. Even in that goal, if you watch the replay back, you can see Emi Buendia and Douglas Luiz giving Luca Digne absolute daggers with the eyes and just asking, what are you doing? How have you allowed him to cut inside? But I want Maatsen back in that left back, not because of just that mistake, but I just think like Maatsen was showing good form and doing really well for us. And I don't think Digne up against Rayan. I think Rayan had his number a couple of times. There are certain games where Luca Digne can play, but this one for me against an exciting Brazilian winger wasn't the one. But anyway. But yeah, Junior Krupi, what a player. He put the ball in the back of the net, offside, just about, was causing trouble for us all over the show, playing in that sort of number 10 number. Looks like, Anton Semenyo is not going to be missed too much by Bournemouth because they've got a ready-made replacement in this guy, and he just looks really good. We did have a chance in the second half. Good footwork again from Jadon Sancho. Plays the ball into Matty Cash inside the box, and Cash has a shot which just whistles over the crossbar. I think he was right to go for the shot as well. There might have been options in the box, but I think there was too many Bournemouth bodies around it. And that's the other thing. We didn't get enough bodies forward. If you look at sort of the positional play and positional style of our midfield, we didn't have anyone kind of breaking beyond Ollie Watkins many times in that game, especially in the second half at all, even. But yeah, Sancho for me was a bright spark in the game, especially in that first half. Second half faded a little bit, but created that chance for Matty Cash. Subs are too late. I mentioned Tammy Abraham, 86th minute. Leon Bailey did get on earlier, but he might as well have just stayed on the team bus. He didn't do anything, and it just reminded us of the Leon Bailey that we sent out on loan. Evan Gasson getting an assist on his Palace birthday. Now, I'm not calling for Evan Gasson to come back, but I would love to see Alisson get a chance from the bench at some point in the next few games to see what he can do as well. Leon Bailey is, he's decent enough, but yesterday was not his game at all, which is a shame because he's done well against Bournemouth on a few occasions, but he seemed to come into it quite cold, not ready. I'm not sure what was up, but he just didn't have a very good game at all, Leon Bailey. And then we had sort of saves late on from Emi Martinez denying Ryan Christie, tipping one over the crossbar, which is probably the best save of the game. Then there was another save from I think it was Krupi towards the end as well. But yeah, I've got here on my notes, Watkins miles off it, Tammy late sub ? But that's my sort of frustration of the Bournemouth game. But I put in the thumbnail, could this be a vital point? Because we didn't play well, but we picked up a point against Bournemouth, who are on form, who are climbing the table. They've got a good manager. They play good football. And could we look back at this at the end of the season and think, yeah, that was a point gained? Because, this game could have easily gone to Bournemouth. And on the balance of play, they probably did deserve to win. But we'll take the point. We go to Brighton now on Wednesday. That, for me, at Villa Park now has become a must-win game. So we've lost to Everton. We've lost to Brentford. We beat, obviously, Newcastle. And we've we've drawn to Bournemouth as well here yesterday. So, yeah, I need to pick it up, Villa. Need to pick it up. I'm hearing a lot of fans getting down in the dumps about it. I think we should just keep our heads up a little bit more. Unai Emery will get it right. I'm sure that he'll get it right on Wednesday. I want to see Tammy Abraham in the lineup. I'll do a separate match preview for that, which will be on the channel later on today. But guys, just for me watching the entirety of the second half back there this morning, smash a like, subscribe if you're new, hype it up, super chats, super thanks. Do all you can to support the channel. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and I want to get there as soon as possible. So guys, if you like what you hear, hype it up, help me out, and keep your eyes on the channel for the match preview for the Brighton game coming up later on today. Over and out.